Welcome, everybody. My name is Matt Leone, CEO of DriveCentric. We're here today to talk about a really exciting partnership that we forged. We introduced the DriveCentric Partner Hub, and it was really important for me to work with different partners, strategic partners, to build true bi-directional integrations. And with me, I'd like to bring up on stage Aaron Baldwin, CEO of automotiveMastermind. Aaron?
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This is a really important strategic partnership. I've known Aaron for a really long time. And what we want to do for you today is walk you through why the partnership was so important. And then we're going to do a live demonstration with a live store. Let me just walk through the actual integration of what we built and the importance of it. Most CRMs have a basic integration, passing notes. What we wanted to build was the ability to have one platform where we could have all of the data flowing into one screen so the end user is not toggling between multiple tabs, multiple screens. In order to accomplish that, you have to have all of the great predictive insights that automotiveMastermind creates loaded in. You have to have all the marketing campaign information, the clicks, the views, what did they get, loaded in. If Mastermind's partnered with certain manufacturers or OEMs where they're doing private offers and optimizing those private offers, that data needs to flow in and flow in all the way through the desking process. And when you finally put all of that together, what you have is a very seamless integrated operating platform fueled by a very great predictive insight company. Something DriveCentric's never going to go do, which is build off of 10 years worth of predictive insights and leverage the data that Mastermind has, and I'll let Aaron talk about that data, but put it in an engagement platform. And then that engagement platform then controls the outcome through desking. So Aaron, maybe talk a little bit about some of the things that Mastermind brings to the table on the data side.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, Matt. And we couldn't agree with you more. We don't want to have our salespeople inside of the stores going through multiple screens. We want to be able to reduce that screen count for everybody who's inside of the store so that they can work more efficiently and they can get their job done. Now, as far as the data that we're providing in, we do have 10 years of data science and machine learning history in our predictive algorithms, but that's also all fueled by the nearly 100 years of R.L. Polk & Company data that we've been sitting on, registration data across all 50 states, demographic data across 130 million marketing permissible households. And so the combination of all of that with the first-party data coming in from the dealer, we're able to really understand who is this person. Where are they, right? Are they actually still living at the correct address? Do we have the right phone number? Did they change their phone number? Do they still own this car? And being able to resolve that to a very clear view of who that is. And that's what enables all these predictive insights. So being able to bring in all of our predictive analytics, scoring each of these customers on how likely they are to buy, when they're most likely to buy, what they're most likely to purchase for, and at what price, is a big step in being able to know how to interface with this person, right? You think about your salespeople. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to make a phone call, I'm going to send a text message, I'm going to work with Genius AI in order to set an appointment. What do I need to be saying to this person that really means something to them and really enable that conversation? And so that's what that's able to bring inside of the DriveCentric platform, so they're able to work it in real time as they're going through their workflows.
And not only are we doing bi-directional, because one of the things that was really important for this partnership to work, their prediction needs to know, did it work? Did you close that deal? Did you desk that deal? Was the incentive right? Was our prediction right? And so we're pumping the data out of DriveCentric when it's a mutual customer back into Mastermind for them to improve and constantly increase their machine learning model. And this is what we're going to bring a live demonstration in a moment to show you. Our AI or our genius need to pick up on the signals that Mastermind does so well, which is Mastermind's about to be in market. This consumer is about to be in market the next 90 days, and why? What are the drivers or why that person's about to be in market? And as that becomes a lead in a CRM platform, that our genius product need to pick up on those signals and be able to be informed to take action. So whatever type of driver this is that's causing this person to be in market, what things you should say, what things you should avoid to say, is not only visible now in the user interface, it's also picked up by our Genius product. And so when we take over and be able to close that deal, which is the ultimate goal, we're going to be able to have all that insights fueling our genius. And so what I'd like to do is actually bring up a really special guest, Ian Love from Mazda. And we're going to use his store, and he was gracious enough to help us do a live demonstration with one of his stores. Ian, thank you. You've been a DriveCentric customer for how long?
A little over a year.
And how about Automotive Mastermind?
About a year and a half.
Great. And so this is a perfect example of a mutual customer that uses both platforms. And one of the really exciting things, Ian, is you're familiar with the private offer incentives with Mazda. Maybe you could just start with a concept to the audience of what are those private offers to you in your store, and how do you use those?
Yeah, so the private offers, for me, when I signed up for it, it was a game changer because the other two Mazda dealers in town, they didn't have Automotive Mastermind. So when these private incentives came out, it was about an extra $500 a deal in rebate money. That gave me a different leverage to work a deal differently than my other two competitors. So I had to jump on that. That was absolutely fantastic. They not only offer private incentives for Mazda, but currently also for Volkswagen and Audi. If you're looking at it from that standpoint, like if you have a Volkswagen, Audi, or a Mazda store, the program Mastermind is going to pay for itself just in the rebates that you're going to get in your deals or the extra deals that you're going to be able to make.
Right. And so historically, what did you have to do? You were going to get a campaign from Mastermind, right? It would go out to a consumer. They would bring in that and say, hey, I'd like to do this. But was it visible in your CRM? Was it visible in DriveCentric? Did you have any insight into that in DriveCentric?
No, not previously.
Not previously, right? So what we want to show is maybe let's jump into a live demonstration here of taking this private offer and be able to kind of show you now what is this consumer now qualified for. And so in this situation, a $1,500 private offer was provided to with a redemption code that has to be processed on the Mazda side for you to be able, your dealership to be able to claim that, correct?
That's correct.
And so come out of this screen and go back into our dashboard. Now what I want to be able to show is on the customer card, this is all the BPS data that's not going to be visible to you. So this person is now in market, right? 96%, 96 score of a BPS, all visible to you on the customer card. And then now what I want to go back into the private offer and actually show how we can go desk that with a private offer. So Drew here, who heads up our product team, is going to click on this and get into our desking system within DriveCentric. So what Ian's going to be able to do now is have this automatically default in. It says, I know a campaign went out from Mastermind. I know this consumer was qualified for $1,500, and I want to ensure our sales team is capturing that so that Ian in his store can ensure that rebate's coming back to him, and so his gross profit is whole with this. And so that's the integration that hopefully is now going to speed up your process and ensure that all of these transactions include that right off the bat.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. There could be ones that are missed, right? And now it's going to be right in there. You know the money's there. It's setting the deal up correctly. So that's great.
Yeah.
And
then, it's really important for us, especially on the private incentives world here. One of the big things that we track is redemption rates. So if we're going to put this out there and that person's going to purchase this car, Mazda Financial Services, Mazda North America wants to make sure that these customers are ultimately getting the money, and it's helping you hold some gross profit inside of the deal because we're taking manufacturer money to be able to support their budget and getting to the payments that they need. But not having that directly embedded in the desking workflow was creating a friction point where things could get lost. Now it's there for every single desk. Every single time you're going to go pencil a customer, they've got it right in front of them, and they can work the deal the right way.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. And like I said, if you have one of those 3 dealerships, and I believe more will come sooner, but I can't speak on that.
We hope so.
I had dealers around me scratching their heads going, how are they making that deal? Like they just didn't get it, but they were just behind the ball a little bit.
we're going to show 2 other things, the mining capability of this, as well as then show the customer card that shows the history that this person qualified for a private offer. So on the mining side, when you're in DriveCentric natively, and we have all the great insights coming from Mastermind, what we're going to be able to do is say, who is engaged in that dealership? Where's that at in the lead process? And what did they get from Mastermind to be engaged? So activity, tracking. Hey, they opened up some email 3 times. They clicked on a QR code. They did some level of engagement. That insight was previously blind to Ian at his store because he'd have to log on to Mastermind to see all of that. And to be able to say, I want to see everybody that got a campaign for a private offer. And I want to filter down to, I want to see everybody that clicked on that campaign at least 3 times, because those are going to be the top of my funnel, and I want to run a campaign to nurture them further along the funnel now that Mastermind warmed them up. So hopefully another benefit for you in your store, just to become that much more efficient with how this integration can work for you.
So that's actually going to be huge, because currently what I do is I look at login activity, and if I notice that like one of my salespeople haven't logged into Mastermind in 2 days, I revoke their users, like their ability to go in. So that way they have to come up to the desk and go, well, why can't I get in? Well, because you're not using it every day. What do you need to be in there for? This is going to make life a little bit easier. It really is, because it's going to be in the one program that they're really used to working in. Because I can speak and tell you that my best salesperson is the person that is scouring Automotive Mastermind for the people with the high BPS scores. This is going to kind of level the playing field for some of the other salespeople that maybe aren't as diligent to going into multiple programs.
Right. But right here, we're going to see campaign notification, Mastermind, customer viewed this activity, and we can either have Genius pick up that and do something with it, or the salesperson can make sure they just log in on that one screen and take all the activity right there.
Yeah, and I think one of the other parts of the beauty in this integration is it's truly bi-directional. So for those sales folks who are really, familiar with the Automotive Mastermind system, like going into Mastermind to do that, they're going to have the DriveCentric information right there inside of that screen, and it's all going to cross-integrate. So whether the preference is to be in here or the preference is to be there, probably most likely going to be primarily in here, but
And I will plug, our partner here, straight down the hallway. If you want to see a live demonstration on their side, what you'll be able to see is the opposite end screen of this, which is the Mastermind view. Because again, all of that data is going to be flowing right back over to their system, not only to fuel their Fritz and their BPS, but displayed right in the user interface. Because some dealerships are going to want both screens up and running, because there's so much more insight also available in Mastermind that we're not pulling in. That you're going to want to have 2 screens for those power users that want that.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, Ian, thank you for coming up. Thank you for being a joint customer of both of ours. Hopefully this is a big benefit for you in your store.
Yeah.
And Aaron, thank you for the partnership. We really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it, Matt.
Thank you.
Guys, I just really wanted to say DriveCentric has been a game changer for me at my store. I've experienced Reynolds and Reynolds, CDK, Cox. I've done all the different programs. This is the future. Whether you're talking about Mastermind or integration, you really should integrate both. But I can tell you that I believe that this is going to be the last one standing, if you will.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.